Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Happy almost end of February. We are in the last final full week of February 2022. And today is February 2nd, 2022. 2222. So if you guys, anybody who believes in luck, if hope you went out and played the lottery, or if you're doing anything today, make sure you're safe. But it's just one of those dates that will only come, what is it, every once a century or something. So, but it's raining in my neck of the woods. It was warm today, but it's a little getting chilly. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow, then it's supposed to go bad again the end of the week. More wintry mix. This February is just not, acting the way it's supposed to act. One day it feels like summer, the next day it feels like winter. But anyways, how you guys doing today? I'm just looking over here because I have to share this again, like I said, because I turned off my information on the other page here. So I am doing this for a second. And okay, I'm going here and I would just go. So just give me 1 second here, and then I would do this. And go here and post. And then one more. Okay. And go because I like to be on to get as maximum audience as possible. So let me do that. And I'm there. Okay. Alrighty. So welcome to Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. I am Abby Tyler, the host and one of the moderators of this forum. My name is Abby Tyler again. I am a family nurse practitioner, and I work in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I also do some volunteer work in my community, do health fairs and everything. Happy to be here. For those of you who will be joining me during this broadcast, I say thank you. For those of you who will be joining me later, I say thank you as well. So today, February is Heart Disease Month, Heart Health Awareness Month, Women's Heart Health Month. So everything is put together. So I'm on here. I was going to bring my friend to come on and talk more with me, but unfortunately, she was unable to be here today. So I'm going to be doing this by myself. So the topic today is Heart Awareness Month, Heart Disease Awareness Month. My quick disclaimer, whatever I say here is from the American Heart Association, American College of Cardiologists, and family practice guidelines. And so it doesn't take the place of you going to see your family doctor. So please do not change anything on your regimen without talking to your own family doctor or provider before making any changes. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to try not to make this too long today. I'm going to be doing some reading as well because I put my research stuff together, and then I'll be going on and be talking about it. So, heart disease. Okay, so I'm going to be putting up some pictures, and I don't want any copyrights of these pictures. So when people say heart disease, what does heart disease mean? Heart disease refers to the several types of heart conditions. The most common one in America is coronary artery disease. It's when the plaque, when you eat cholesterol plaque and everything goes under plaque, and it covers up your arteries. Like you have your arteries, just imagine a straw that when you pour water into it, the water flows out easily, and there's no block, and there's nothing blocking it from there. When you have heart disease and you have coronary artery disease, when you have that, like imagine your straw and you have the plaque built up on the side of it, and it builds up after a period of time, and then it starts blocking and start occluding, meaning let me say occlusion, it starts blocking, and the water and everything cannot go through. So basically the water and the your nutrients, your blood, oxygen, nutrients, and everything that's supposed to go through slowly, smoothly, and go to your body and carry the nutrients to other necessary parts of your body, your other organs, your brain, your liver, your kidneys, and everything down to your lower extremities. That's supposed to help you keep you healthy. And when that gets blocked, and that's when you have the risk of dying from a heart attack or a stroke, or having a massive heart attack or a stroke that leaves you debilitated. So let me just show you a little diagram of the arteries I'm talking about here. Okay, so you see that? So the one on the left there is like when the blood is going through smoothly and it goes through smoothly and you don't have any issues, you don't have chest pain, you don't have anything else. The one on my right, you see that you see the yellow thing, that's all the plaque building, high cholesterol that builds into plaque, and there's this crowded on your arteries. And what happens is, like I said, when that gets to the point where it becomes really closed up, that's when the blood starts, you start having problem. And when you're not getting the oxygen and the nutrients that your body needs, that's when you start getting the diseased heart, and then you run the risk of having a heart attack or a stroke. Okay, so I'm going to close that from there. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so let me go back to there again. It's a atherosclerosis, affects the blood flow to your heart and it decreases the blood flow and all that. So you start having issues like chest pain. We should have the chest pain. Symptoms of that would be chest pain. And remember, it can be like your left chest, it can be your right chest, but in women, it also comes differently because when you're watching TV or you're watching a movie, you see when people are having chest pain and they're gripping their left chest wall like that, and they're like that. That's the classic sign? But most people have it like they have a little bit, you think you're having like reflux, they have a pain going down the jaws, radiating to the back and the shoulders and everything. And for women, like I said, it could feel just like you're just having like a regular reflux. You feel, oh my God, I ate something and it feels like it's coming back here and I'm burping a lot. So that could be also a sign of chest pain or heart attack in women. And for a stroke and all that, you're having weakness in one side of your body, numbness and weakness in one side of your body, a sudden change in vision of speech, and sometimes it could come out slowly. You something where you be like, okay, I'm feeling this, and it's coming on. That's why when you're having a stroke, they tell you to hurry up and get to the hospital with 911 as soon as possible. And we ask you how long has it been since you started feeling this way, because it gets to a point where there's a guideline where after a certain time they can't give you the medication that is going to break out the clot that's forming in your brain. So that's why it's very important to know your history and know everything that's going on with you prior to that point. So let me give you some statistics about heart disease. Okay, heart disease is the leading cause of death for men, women, and people of most racial and ethnic groups in the United States. One person dies every 30 seconds in the United States from cardiovascular disease. Like, remember I told you, your heart and your brain. About 659,000 people in the United States die from heart disease each year. That's one in every four deaths. Literally one in every four deaths. Heart disease cost the United States about 363 billion each year from 2016 to 2017. That was the last statistic I find. This include the cost of healthcare services, medicines, and lost productivity due to death. So now we know people who have had issues like that, and you get to a point where your family member is really suffering, and you've had somebody who had a stroke or a heart attack. When they're home, you have to get home care aid. You have to have visiting nurse. If the person can't work anymore, that's loss of income. That's a lot of hardship on the family member. So it's very important that you see that. Let me just go in here and do this here. I'm just going to make sure that, okay. Okay, and coronary artery disease, it seems the coronary artery disease is the most common type of heart disease. And I went through all the stats and all that. One of the ones that was real sobering is about 18.2 million adults age 20 and older have like coronary artery disease. That's about 6.7% of the population. So you may be thinking, oh no, this is just some old people disease. It's got nothing to do with me. And that's way below. I see patients in my office where when they come to me and their cholesterol level is like way high, much higher than somebody who much older. So it's also so when you look at that, you say, do I really want to be dealing with that? Do you want to be dealing that and worrying about thinking about the fact that you could have a heart attack or a stroke when you're still very young? So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself from a very early age. And think about it, when you're in your 20s as a young person, you're just starting out life. You know, you're going through everything that you have to go through. You're going through school, you're starting family, you're still in school, you college, and you're just starting out life. You don't want to be dealing with all of that when you're young. And also when you put you on medication to take care of high cholesterol when you're very young, that also has an effect long term too. So, but without the medication, you will also have long term effects too. So that's very important that we do that. So I am going to just move over here, and so this doesn't make any noise. So I'll be looking out for comments and everything in the meantime. So I hope I am live because I'm looking at my computer screen. If I'm not live, I would just make sure I would just record this and I put this on. Let me check. I am live. Okay. So alrighty. So I'm going to come in here. Sorry, didn't mean to do any of that. Okay. Okay, so now I told you about two deaths from coronary artery disease happening to adults less than 65 years. So two in every death less than 65 years old. So imagine that's not anything this small. Alrighty. Early action for heart attack is very important. So you know the symptoms of heart attack, like I told you, if you're having chest pain, not just walk, it could be like you're just burping, pain radiating from your neck and your shoulders and everything. Okay. In the United States, someone has a heart attack every 40 seconds every year. So I went through that. The thing about it when I talk about statistics, like that's what I said when I spoke about in other videos. Most people, when you hear statistics, they'll be like, okay, 65,000 people died this way, 480,000 people died that way. Oh, that one, maybe that's in America. Maybe that's another group. Maybe that's not me. Maybe that's not. Guess what? It happened. I always tell people, at least five people in that that have high blood pressure or have in high cholesterol or have kidney disease and all that, and at least three of those people are related to you. So start counting that, knowing for all that. So that's part of your history, and those people could be your mother, your father, or your siblings. Those are your first degree relatives. So you always want to make sure that that is what's happening, that's what's going on, and you're taking care of that. So the statistic will be way higher than what you're thinking, but it's part of your family and it's closer to home than so it's best that you take care of that as soon as possible and manage your health and all. So screening, most times when it comes to screening, they don't do that. You don't start getting screened until something happens. So most people don't get start knowing that they had the disease until they go to the hospital. They have something else and they do the blood work. That's why it's very important that when you're supposed to be going to your doctor's office, you doing your chest, your yearly checkup. Okay, yearly annual checkup every year, and you want to make sure you're getting your blood work. So when we do our blood work, we do the complete blood count, which is we check for infection and anemia. We do your CMP, we're checking for your liver function, we're checking for your cholesterol level, we're checking for. So that is done every year. And then if you are high risk, and we look at your history and all that, when we look at the high risk, that when we start doing more testing, or we send you to other specialists. Most of the time when it comes to heart disease, the primary care provider is the first person that notices if you're not in a hospital setting. And then we work closely, and we put you on some medications and change your diets and all that, exercising. And if it gets to the point where we need to send you to cardiologist, we send you to the cardiologist. So the cardiologist will do much more screening. Like we can do the EKG in the office. Like if I did EKG in the office and I read it and I saw something different there, if I don't need to send you to the emergency room, I also refer you to see the cardiologist. So there they can do the echocardiogram. That's the ultrasound of the heart. We spoke about that when we did CHF education, and that shows how well your heart is pumping. The cardiologist might do another EKG just to compare it to the one that we did in the office. And they have other invasive testing, non-invasive testing that they can do also to make sure that what they're looking at is safe, and look at your lab work and go on from there. Okay, so I will go to where it says risk factors here. Hold on for 1 second. I'm just going to open this up for a bit. Okay. Alrighty, risk factors. Okay. Risk factors and like causes of heart disease and all that. Okay, risk factors. High blood pressure. Your high blood pressure is one of them, because if your blood pressure gets high, and the longer your because high blood pressure meaning it comes from the fact that you're not eating healthy, and like I said, it could be familiar also, so it could be family history. So if you're not eating healthy, you're eating junky food, high fat food, that can also lead to high cholesterol, which can again clog your your arteries. Smoking. So if you are smoking, it's important that you try to cut back on there or quit as much as possible, because the longer you're smoking, that also hardens the arteries too. That's called arteriosclerosis. The fat in your arteries is called atherosclerosis. Okay. So about half of people in the United States, about 47%, have at least one of these risk factors, and several other medical conditions and lifestyle choices can be put in, okay, to prevent that. So diabetes. Remember, diabetes, some of the things that cause diabetes is high fat, sugary foods, high fat, unsafe food. So I did my video on diabetes. That's also down there, so you can go back and watch on that. If you're obese, and obesity, like I told you, clinically obese, your BMI should be between 19 and 25. There are some cultural variations, and also there's age variation. So we don't expect you to be like the same way the weight you were when you were in your 20s, after having babies, after going through everything. Yes, and even with men, as you get older, we're not expecting to be the same weight as you were before that. Okay, so but the most important thing is to make sure that you stay safe. All right. Make sure a part of that unhealthy diet. eating food like it's getting hard in carbohydrates, physical inactivity. When you're just sitting around having living a sedentary lifestyle. I know in America, most of the time when we're in during the winter months, we're stay inside. We're not going to the gym. We're not doing that much walking, and we did a lot of that. In the past 4 years, a lot of people. What COVID's been around for 3 years now, and because of that, a lot of people have been staying inside, haven't been able to work out that much. And people who love going to the park, like me, I love walking in the parks. That's why I do most of the time. So we haven't been able to do that much because as soon as you start getting ready to do things, then COVID strikes again. So then you have to go back inside and you're inside for so long. So that's also, from physical inactivity, sedentary lifestyle, excessive alcohol use too. That's also unsafe. Autoimmune diseases like lupus that can also cause that. Rheumatic heart heart disease that you're born with that was not diagnosed when you're younger, or when you're diagnosed and you start getting complications later on. Sleep apnea, that means your heart is because you're not getting enough sleep, and it's just like if your heart is pausing in the night when you're snoring, that can also harden the arteries and also put a lot of pressure in the heart and enlarge the heart. So that's not safe either. Another ailment that may contribute to heart disease, which one of them is mental illness, which most one common one is depression. Because when you're depressed, chances are more than likely you're not eating healthy, you're not making healthy choices, you're not getting around, moving around a lot. And people can say, okay, well, I'm not that kind of depressed. You can be depressed and still be functionally depressed. You can still go to work, but anything that is supposed to make you healthy, you may have no interest in doing that. So all of that, when you're eating unhealthy, that can also lead to the fact that you haven't, that can also lead to heart disease. So depression and obesity, arthritis, and all, because when you have arthritis, you're not really moving around, your bones are hurting, you're not really moving around that much. Okay, so we're getting into the prevention now. I'm just going to look to make sure that nobody is on there, and I don't see any comments for now. Okay, so the prevention here, let me go in here. Let's see, I just wanted to make sure. So the most important thing, like, how far have I been? 17 minutes. Okay. Most important things to prevention now. So you want to make sure you know your numbers. Know your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers. Okay. You want to know your A1c, your hemoglobin A1c. That's the one that determines whether you have diabetes or not. Okay. So you want to make sure that your numbers, I told you before, where you're below 6.5. 5.6 is when you're supposed to be non-diabetic, or when you start going to 5.6 or 6.5, that's when you're pre-diabetic, you're high risk for diabetes. So you want to make sure, again, going to your doctor's office and making sure you're getting your blood work checked every month, every year. And if they tell you to follow up and if they put you on medication, you have to be compliant with those medications. Okay, know your kidney functioning. Make sure you ask your doctor, what's my GFR? Okay, that's the one we're going to make sure when you start staging your kidney disease. That's when we say when it up to a certain point is stage 1, stage 2. When you start getting like stage 2 and stage 3, that's when we really start getting concerned. So it's important that you're taking your medication. You're supposed to take it away. You're supposed to take it. Drink plenty of water, unless if you have other issues that you have to watch on your water. Your BUN creat, the one your kidney functioning, that make sure you're clearing out all the gum from your kidneys. Make sure you ask the doctor that. And for those of you who have diabetes and other issues, when you have high blood pressure, and eventually that kind of affects your kidneys. So, and if you're taking medications that may affect your kidneys, too, like ibuprofen and other medications that may affect your kidneys, like naproxen and all of that. So check with your doctor. Make sure you know your lipid panel. That's your cholesterol level. Okay, say what's my total cholesterol level? Supposed to be under 200. What's my really bad cholesterol? It's called LDL. That's supposed to be no higher than 90. That's supposed to be no higher than 99. You want to make sure you keep an eye in that. And say, okay, it's 99. And if they put you on medication, your doctor's not just going to put you on medication right away. Usually for me, I don't put my patients on medications right away, unless if the numbers are very high and the person, and I'm looking at the blood pressure, and I'm looking at the race, I'm looking at the lifestyle, I'm looking at the presenting symptoms, and we have guidelines to go by to say, okay, this person number is really high, and they're at a high risk of having a stroke either this year or in the next 10 years. So we have to start acting now. We tell you start eating healthy. May tell you to take other medications that's not ready, like a statin, and we'll start stepping like your Lipitor or your Crestor. We start going there. We may not want to do that right away, but like I said, based on your individual assessment, we can decide that. And some people cannot tolerate statins. So also there's some medications that some people cannot tolerate. So, and some people have allergies to certain things. So we have to work around that. So look at your cholesterol panel. And again, some people have it in the family where you're born with high cholesterol, that you can do everything, you can eat healthy, but it's still going to be high, but you want to manage it to keep it even if it's not a therapeutic level, but it's at a safe level, so you don't run into problems. Because the higher your cholesterol level and all that, that's when you start running into issues with your chest pain and stroke and all right. So your BMI, I told you your BMI. I'm gonna put the screen up there so you can see that. I'm gonna put that included in the comment section so you can look at the BMI scale to make sure that it's want to take your height and your weight and see where you're supposed to be. And you always want to make sure your BMI you'll so be closer to the left side of the screen as opposed to the right side of the screen. So if you're looking at it, the healthy one is this way and the bad one is that way. So you want to make sure that you look at that and take all of that into account. So we're not just looking at one number when we diagnosed you with it. We're looking at everything else and also your presenting symptoms. All right. Exercise at least 150 minutes weekly. Some people can go ahead and exercise like 3 times a week. Heavy exercises too. If you're doing walk, make sure it's like brisk walking. And you sometimes they tell you to put weights on your arm, on your leg, so you can add more pressure to it. Make sure you check in with your doctor first before you start any exercise regimen. And some people can do maybe 2 hours one day and do it later, whichever way it works. What it should come up to at least 150 minutes a week. Okay, eat healthy. Eat healthy. I noticed that they recommend most of the time the heart cardiologists are recommending a Mediterranean diet because it has more fruits and it has more nuts and other things in there as opposed to like the high fat. Make sure you're not just dipping too much oil in there. For those of us who eat food with palm oil, it says like only 1 teaspoonful, and 1 teaspoonful can do anything for Liberian food. So you want to make sure you cut back on that. Cut back on red oil if you don't have to. And I tell people if you can't, oh, I have to eat my food with this and I have to put some more seasoning in this and all that. So you don't put more time exercising. Do whatever it is you can do too healthy over here. Modify as much as possible, and do more of what you can do on this side. That way, you putting the two together and you coming out with the same outcome. Okay, eat fruits, eat food high in fruits and vegetables, low sugar. Make sure you cut back on your sugary drinks. Make sure you cut back on high carbs, junk food. Instead, also try to eat mostly at home, because when you're eating at home, chances are more than likely you're going to be eating healthy if you're eating at home. If you're going out, you're not going to be eating healthy. So every once in a while doesn't mean you shouldn't eat out, but every once in a while you want to eat most of your meals at home. Okay. So you can go out partying, you can still go out once a week and eat. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. Just try to be healthy. That's all. And the DASH diet, I always talk about like the DASH diet is DASH. You can look on that on Google. It's some dietary approach to stopping hypertension. So you can look in there and it's just modified in a way where it fits into your cultural food. Because I'm not saying, oh, if you're eating this, that means you can't eat this anymore. If you eat, no, 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 I'm not putting everybody in one box, because that's not possible. And that's not the way we teach our patients. We make sure we tell you, we kind of work within your culture to make sure to see, okay, this is what is maybe causing that. Is there a way that you can substitute that? So if you're eating rice, if you eat rice every day, can you eat brown rice? Can you kind of mix it up, brown rice and white rice? Can you different? And they also have diabetic rice. And most important thing is, if somebody in their house is sick, they have diabetes or they have high blood pressure, make sure everybody is eating the same thing. I know it's difficult for somebody to say, oh, the kid would be like, oh my God, I'm eating something that doesn't taste right. Doesn't mean it have to be tasteless. But once the children in the home and the husband and the wife in the home, once they get used to eating certain things, they can tell the difference. Okay, so every once in a while you can splurge, but make sure everybody's eating the same thing, because there's no way that you can be sitting on the table and somebody eating something else and you're sitting there eating this. And especially if you're preparing the food, whether you're the father, the mother, or the child preparing the food, there's no way. Okay, so it's just better that everybody eats the same thing. And once again, like I said, watch the salt. You don't have to put salt, seasoned salt, bouillon cube, and everything in one meal. I know most of our foods, you have to season it so much for it to taste good, but all that nice, good tasting is what causing all the high blood pressure and everything else. And that's what leads to problems later on. So if you smoke, try to quit, decrease as much as possible. There are medications out there that can help you. The pills, there's the gum, there's the patch, and also quitting smoking. 1-800-QUIT NOW. It's QUITNOW. You can call there for more resources. So all of that, and they can give you more things. And pamphlet is for free. You can look on the website and also find that. Other thing is being compliant with your medicine, with your medications. Okay, if we give you the medications to take, please take it. If you have issues with it, please come back and say, I can't take this medication because if I'm allergic to it or other thing, don't just stop it, because there's a reason why. So when you come back and we're looking at your lab work, and we find out that you're not taking the medications, then you're not compliant, and we just documenting you're not compliant after explaining to you the dangers of not taking your medicine. So please make sure you talk to your doctor about that. Don't just stop. um Healthy blood pressure should be 120 over 80. That's ideal blood pressure. Anything a little bit 5, 10 points here and there, then that's when we start moving into stage one and stage two of high blood pressure. But if you're taking your medicine and you're maintaining a healthy one and it's not going high up, then we're good at that. If your doctor tells you buy a blood pressure machine and make sure you take your blood pressure the same time every day, same arm every day, and watching that and making sure that when you start going higher, they will give you the range, the parameters, and you can follow up from there. Okay, diabetes again, like I said, know your numbers, know all your numbers. The most important thing: A1c, your blood pressure, your kidney functioning, your BMI, all those numbers. You can have them written down somewhere. And then when you go to the doctors, too, when I explain my test results to my patients, I always give them a copy of it. I say, "Do you want a copy?" And they say, "Yeah." I'll say, "Okay, you can have a copy." So that way, at least I say, take this and put it in your refrigerator or put it somewhere. You can always take a picture of it and see, okay, this is where I was last year and these numbers, and they're like flashing in your face and saying, these are the numbers I'm looking at. I even told my patient, I said, even for me, I took my stuff and I put it on my refrigerator, and I say, you can take it off when a family member come over or friends come over. And I put it there and I say, okay, this is where I want it to be. And when I'm reaching for that extra, candy or cheesecake or whatever. And most important thing, if you don't buy it in your home, you won't eat it. So don't have too many things in the home that's unhealthy for you, or else you will eat it. So, but even if you eat small portions, portion control, portion control, portion control. Okay. And if you can't help yourself, don't buy, because with me, I'll eat the salad, I'll eat the other stuff, but I'm going to eat my sweets. I got to eat my sweets every once in maybe twice. But okay, so just make sure nobody's telling you to like go ahead and just be completely live life like living in some medical experiment lab. But just do this best as you can, especially when you've already been diagnosed with it. And if you haven't been diagnosed with it, but you have family members with it, and you run the risk of it, make sure you take care of it. Okay, and keep up with your annual visits, and because you won't know your numbers and you don't want to become symptomatic. And then when you have to go to the emergency room, that's when you find out, oh my God, my cholesterol level is really high. Oh my God, my this is so high. So you don't want that. Okay. So making sure you're doing that. Keep up with your annual visits, follow up with all the specialists. If we send you to cardiologists, if we send you to liver doctor, we send you to all those different doctors, make sure that you follow up with them. Sometimes I know it can be expensive to go see this doctor, go see the other doctor. And also that's what we try to manage in the primary care setting as much as possible until we get to the point where it's like, okay, this is when you need to follow up with the cardiologist, with a follow with a specialist. Because if you went to the hospital and you're having chest pain and they did procedures there with you, like a cardiac catheterization to go in there where they go through your groin, they have it now where they can go through your wrist depending on your situation, and they open up your arteries to make sure we get the blood flowing, and they put a stent in there, like a little rubbery thing, kind of metal thing, where they put in there and keep your arteries open, because by then it's completely blocked. And they put you on medication to make sure you take that medication and take it the way it's supposed to be taken, because you don't want to come back to the hospital. And the next time you come back to the hospital, you may not make it to the hospital. Sometimes I tell people the first sign of a heart attack is a heart attack. The first sign of a stroke is a stroke, and you may not be the one to survive from it, or you may suffer devastating disability that could change the entire family's life. So you want to make sure you do that. Okay. Get enough sleep, lessen your stress as much as possible. I mean, we live in a stressful world. I try not to watch too much TV unless if I want to be informed. I try to stay away from Facebook drama that doesn't concern me that much. I mean, sometimes you get those, and Facebook is like a family, so you look at other people's stuff, but don't internalize it. Try not, and when you find yourself internalizing it, turn it off, log off, go watch something funny. Okay. Get enough sleep. They tell you have to do sleep study to make sure you don't have sleep apnea. Please follow up with that. Okay. And then all the other things, just take care of the other illnesses that you have, because anytime you have other illnesses that that causes your heart to work a little harder, because it's like, okay, you have this and everything pumping blood and doing this, the heart has to work extra hard to keep that part of the body pumping and to keep the rest of the body functioning properly. So you want to make sure what other diseases that you have, you're taking care of it. All right. And so let me just see if I have any questions, and I would just go in there, comments, and see. Okay. Then this says, thanks, Abby, for the education. And then what is question? Then it says, what is, oh, sorry. Let me put that in the screen so people can see it. What is once in a while when it comes to eating out? Oh, what is once in a while eating out? You can eat. I said maybe once a week or so. You can do that. Don't when you go out, and when you go out to make sure you ask for some fruits and vegetables. Eat that first, and then they eat something else. So making sure every time, even you going out and having fun and all, but just have that in mind. So, but when you're eating out like that, don't overeat for the whole time. Then you're not going to go out again. So just make sure you're eating to where you being mindful that you're still trying to be healthy, but live your life to where you don't feel so stressed out that oh my god, I can eat this one, I can eat that one. We're not telling you that. We're just telling you, just make sure as much as possible, do your best to eat healthy. Okay, because also for, and it's a high risk for African Americans too, black and all people. There's so many theories on why most of these things affect black people more often than other races. It does affect other races too. It's just that there's something called food desert. The term that was used that in most places where there are many African Americans, where in different cities, most of those places in the inner cities they barely have any supermarkets there. So there are like no supermarkets or farmers market where people can go to. So if I'm telling you eat healthy, eat healthy, eat healthy, and you the closest supermarket to you have to get in the bus and drive, 20, 30 minutes to go somewhere to go to the supermarket or the farmers market, chances are you're going to be eating whatever is at the corner store. And you're going to be eating things that you have to eat quickly to get up and go and do what you have to do. So most of those places, that's why most communities and mayors and different governors in different those places are kind of working hard to get those supermarkets and everything, and farmers market and other places that are healthy to come closer to where most of these people are, so they don't have to drive far. I work where I work. There's like open market right there, so the people who live in that area can just walk there and just buy fresh fruits and vegetables and all. But most people don't have that. So that's why it's important that when clinicians are talking to these people, you have to make sure that you get that information, ascertain that do they have that. So I can tell you eat healthy, and then you come back and I keep telling you, but you have to eat healthy. I have to make sure that it's possible for you to eat healthy. Okay, and do that. And it's like if it means like going, once a month, going somewhere and buying healthy foods and keeping it until then you have to do that. Okay, so let me just see. I don't see any more questions. So I hope all that I said here today, let me go here, that I have helped somebody. And for those of you who will be watching later, I say thank you. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. I can answer them as I go along. But heart disease is very serious. And you want to make sure you don't suffer from a heart attack or a stroke, okay, which can be very debilitating. It can always also end up in death. So I want you all to be healthy. I myself want to be healthy. I know my family history. I know my lifestyle. I don't move around as much as I did before because the kind of job that I do now, I am getting up and on, but it's not as active as I used to be. So I have to go back to being as active because I know as I get older, my risk factors increases too. So but like I said before, a lot of people under age 20 are also getting sick. And also you want to make sure you stay healthy as much as possible. Keep your body, work with your body. That's all you got. You got one body. Okay, you got one body, one heart, two kidneys, one liver, all those major organs in your body, and you have one brain, one head, everything. So you want to make sure you stay as much happy as much as possible. Okay, so let me see what Jackie Jackson said. Thanks, Abby. Love the blouse. Yes, it's like it's funny because a couple of years ago I wore this blouse, and I have a video where it was like February 22nd. It was like 80 degrees, and I was just and it was nice and all to just like raining, but it's a little warm. So, and I like to wear stuff that keeps me really nice and happy and bright and beautiful sunshine. I'm a color person, so okay, let me rephrase that. I like color. When it gets dreary and all that, you know, I guess I'm a person of color. So, anyways, but we're almost done with Black History Month now. So this is important too because we most of the people who talk about heart disease and all, they also do a lot of markets into the Black communities too, because we have, like I said, we have a lot in our community, so it's important. So yo, it's your color too. Thanks. Okay. Alrighty. So but for those of you be watching, good love Earth tunes. Yes, 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 yes. But so thank you all for watching. For those who will be watching later, I say thank you. For my friends and other people on YouTube, I say thank you. Again, for those of you who have family members who don't frequent Facebook, I am on YouTube, Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. So please go there and subscribe and watch my videos as well. Please subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so when I make new videos, you can come on. It has been over 30 minutes now, so I am going to, let me see my last comment. Jackie Jackson, when I think of eating out, I think of food with different colors. Yes, they say that all the time. More colors, more healthy. More colors, more healthy. So if you're eating some rice and some soup and stew, and also make sure you have your vegetables and everything all mixed up in there. So pretty colors, healthy colors. Pretty healthy, healthy, healthy. So exercise, stay healthy, know your numbers. Okay, know your numbers. All right, that is a good thing when you have a lot of colors in there. And yes, in your food. Colors mean healthy. Okay, so know your numbers. All right. So I thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining me again. Until next time, we'll talk again. I won't be on this Friday because I do have an event to go to. It seems like I'm always going out some Friday, but I do have an event to be at. So I won't be here on Friday, but I will be posting some other stuff. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys later. So until then, good night. God bless. Namaste. Thank you.